Hello to all, and welcome to our first formal company update. My name is Adam Thomas. I am the chairman and CEO of Gold River Productions, Inc., ticker symbol GRPS if you're not familiar, and the CEO of American Aquaculture. I'm excited today to present an update on our company's operations and current happenings. So the goal for today is to provide transparent and comprehensive information about our plans, our progress, and what we've got going on in the future. So just wanted to start with a quick overview of the company, starting with our mission, which is to produce the highest quality, sustainably raised shrimp while establishing ourselves as a leader in U.S. aquaculture. So the company was founded in 2017 in Rio Hondo, Texas, on an 1,880-acre facility, which is currently the largest aquaculture facility in the United States. Our founders and current leadership team have over 100 years of combined shrimp cultivation experience and aquaculture experience throughout the Americas. So not only North America, but Central America and South America as well. And, kind of the star of the show, our main product, although we're developing other revenue streams kind of related to this, is premium quality shrimp, which is always produced 100% free of antibiotics and hormones. So ensuring our customers get a superior product that they can have confidence in. So a few notes about the industry that we're in. The U.S. Is the third largest consumer of shrimp behind China and the EU. And this marketplace is expected to grow at an annual clip of almost 5% for the foreseeable future. And while aquaculture shrimp production is prevalent in other areas of the world, it's really just getting started here in the United States, which gives us a low barrier to entry and presents us with a prime opportunity to present our quality products to the marketplace. So speaking of our shrimp, why we decided to start an aquaculture company. So we saw some significant problems with the shrimp being consumed in the U.S. 90% of the shrimp in the United States is imported, and even worse, less than 2% of that is tested for any antibiotics or other harmful additives. So foreign farms are notorious for using, these two things to help combat poor growth conditions and practices. But this ultimately results in a cheap, poor quality shrimp that can be harmful to consumers. Our shrimp are cultivated using only the top quality ingredients, all sourced in the U.S. No additives. We're in a completely closed facility, which assumes that there's no harm or discharge into the local environment. And additionally, we can provide farm-to-table transparency that gives our consumers the confidence that they're getting a superior, healthy product. So, getting into the meat and potatoes of kind of where we're at for right now and where we're headed for the rest of this year. So specifics of our harvest plans. So we have started our maturation programs, which includes broodstock acclimation and mating. So this process will result in the females getting pregnant and essentially laying egg sacs, which will then be collected and put into hatching tanks. So before they're moved into our hatchery, which is the next stage of the growth, and that we call larviculture. So the larviculture process takes roughly 3 weeks as the shrimp progress through their larval stages before we will stock them as what we call a PL12. So this is the last stage before they go into the nurseries. So you can see that the timeline of events outlined here, it all culminates in our first harvest cycle, which we plan to do as part of the June and July timeframe of this year, just pending on the specific growth rates that we see and things like that. So again, this tracker that you see right here, this kind of high level key milestones, will be part of the regular updates that we plan on sharing via our bi-weekly email, which I'm kind of foreshadowing that one of the things that will have come forward here, as well as any updates that we do through our regular social media sites, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So financial projections. So once we harvest, what is the expected financial outcome? That is what we have presented here. So we expect to do 2 full harvests this year, each one producing roughly 600,000 pounds of shrimp. So obviously the total revenue is based on the exact pull through and the current market price. But what we're projecting for our revenue in terms of 2023 is a total of 4.4 million. And as mentioned, this is dependent upon the pull through rate and the market pricing. And what you see here is laid out as just kind of like a quick and dirty 3-year plan. The reason for the growth that you see in the revenues over the next 2 years is due to the expansion and intensification of the facilities. So currently we're operating on about 40% of the total grow out land that we have related to shrimp cultivation. And with the 2 cycles, with the entire farm operating, we can expect to have strong revenue growth next year. Going into year 3, our plan is to intensify the entire farm, which will give us more efficiencies and more production pull-through, and will help to correspond, and you can see here, in increasing revenues and increasing margins. So again, this is all based on kind of our growth model over the next few years. There are opportunities beyond this to grow the revenue and to intensify the farm even further. But in terms of a next 36-month plan, this is kind of what we're looking at right now. So order book. So I know we've presented things on Twitter and in press releases about orders that we've received. So we have, just to kind of touch base on those. So post larva and broodstock orders for our Algerian customer and Egyptian customers, those are on the books right now. We are waiting for final confirmation on when they want to receive the product. We have received a lot of interest throughout North Africa and things like that. There's a lot of aquaculture projects going on there, specifically Algeria. I think we posted on Facebook and then did a press release and a whole bunch of other stuff related to the contract signing that we did in Algeria. That is still very much something that we're working on and something we're very much looking forward to getting started with. Just basically waiting for the green light from the Algerian government at this point. So we do have additional broodstock orders for broodstock. The pending thing right there right now in terms of getting the products to our Honduran customers is USDA approval. The USDA is the last step. They have to give an export basically certificate that is used as part of the transportation packages and things like that. So just pending USDA follow-up at this point. And then the CAA application. So we're in the process of submitting this now to be one of the main broodstock suppliers in India. So right now there's currently a variety of U.S. aquaculture companies that are providing broodstock, but we have been asked by the local hatcheries in India to submit our application and to potentially start exporting broodstock to the Indian market in the later half of this year. And again, just kind of last part on the order book, it's kind of focused on the harvest, but we are currently working with a variety of U.S. retail and distribution buyers for the shrimp that we are planning to harvest later this year. Hopefully we'll be able to announce that in Q2 as we look to finalize that contract. All right, so corporate actions. I have heard from a decent number of our shareholders about, carving our own path forward and pulling away from the historical business that GRPS has been associated with. That's always been one of the main priorities for us. There were a lot of things we needed to clean up just between the time that the acquisition or the merger was completed and where we stand now. So the first being the name and ticker change. We have filed the FINRA corporate action to formally change the name to Trans American Aquaculture Incorporated. And we've given a couple recommendations for ticker symbols as well that will correspond to that. TAAQ kind of seemed to be the one that we landed on, that we're looking to see if we can get approval for, but we've also submitted a couple other ones as well. Second, we are in discussions about the last divestment of the historical CBD business. So again, I know there's been some comments about if we're doing shrimp flavored gummies and things like that. We will not be. That is not the CBD business. Is something that we're looking to fully get out of and to distance ourselves from. I'm working with the former owner of the company, the former majority shareholder, to divest out of this. We expect this to be done probably sometime in 2Q of 23. We've been very active with sending updates and things like that to all the relevant news and brokerage sites. I think we've seen Yahoo's made a couple updates related to what the company is about and some of the directors and key managers. So again, we're blasting out those emails pretty much on a weekly basis, following up as we can to try and get that change, because we know it's important for, as we carve our path forward, and also for current shareholders and potential investors to see that information being changed. And then, as we mentioned on our initial call back on September 26th, we are expecting to be quite aggressive with the uplist. And we've started to line up the requirements for that. The first and kind of most time-consuming one is being the audited financials, which we are expecting to be done in the next 45 to 60 days. And then working on an S1 filing, which, all the requirements for the S1 will get us about 90% of the way towards an uplist. Obviously, one of the big things that that'll be called to attention at that point will be the stock price. But again, we're pretty confident that, in building a successful business, we'll be able to get the stock price to where we think it needs to be. So those are kind of the main corporate actions that we're working on, and we will be providing, like I said, updates on this as they kind of get approved and go forward. So just a couple quick notes on board members and the management team. So we have welcomed Malcolm McNeil to the board. He will act as the chairman of the audit committee. Malcolm has been in the public finance space as a CPA for the last roughly 40 years. So we're very excited to bring Malcolm on, kind of filling some of the holes that we have on our board to make it nice, rounded out and independent. Fernando, who is on the website, he's the head of our genetics program. He will be overseeing all of the shrimp development, growth, and health, with the support of our experienced team that that we have here at the farm now, and that will be bringing in some skilled laborers as part of the H2A program. Those folks have a lot of experience, not only working here in previous years with us, but also in foreign countries working with Fernando and the team. Okay, so just a couple kind of upcoming events. So the Seafood North America Expo, that goes on is March 12th to March 14th. At this time, I am scheduled to speak on a panel related to shrimp farming in the United States. So really looking forward to this as a way to kind of, explain kind of our process, our thoughts on where the industry can go. So again, we'll hope, I don't know if there's going to be any sort of like video or kind of like a transcript of that, but anything that we have related to that, I'll make sure that we share through our social media channels. We are planning to put an email distribution list for bi-weekly updates out. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we have some key milestones and key updates that we'll look to provide to shareholders. So I will post a link post this to sign up for the email distribution. And again, we'll probably look to get that out in the next few weeks, and then it'll be on a bi-weekly cadence from there going forward. And that'll be in addition to all the social media sites that we're updating to kind of keep all of our shareholders involved in what's going on anyway. And then lastly, in terms of upcoming events, we are looking to place some kind of ads in kind of some industry specific publications, just to kind of get more awareness, bring more awareness to the company about what we're trying to do. Not so much about, about kind of the message of what Transamerican is, but like the quality of the products and why we feel it's important to bring the quality of products that we can produce to the marketplace, and really being, conscientious of what the customers are looking for in terms of traceability, transparency, and health in, their protein sources. All right, so in closing, just want to say thank you for sticking with me throughout the presentation. Tried to keep it short and sweet, where we keep the updates kind of succinct, but again, went a little longer than I had planned. But we are really excited to be able to bring these types of products to the marketplace, and especially to have the opportunity to grow the company into an industry leader. This is something we have been envisioning for quite some time now, and we feel like we're primed to do it starting in 2023 and then growing into the future. So again, just want to say thank you for sticking around. If there's any questions, please post. You can post it in the link below or in the comment section below. If not, there is the GRPS conference call email address that we do have available for anybody that wants to send questions directly through there. So again, we'll post all these links and as part of this. And if there's anything else, I kind of have an open door policy. I think most people that have reached out, they know I'm responsive. So if anything comes up, more than happy to have any discussions related to anything related, to the company. So again, thank you very much and have a great week. We will be in touch soon. Thank you.